learn to taste extra virgin olive oil properly and get maximum health benefit. What I will share with you tonight, a brief introduction about olives and olive oils, difference between extra virgin olive oil and olive oil, how to taste the extra virgin olive oil, and the benefit of extra virgin olive oil. We start to introduce myself first. Who am I? My name is Franco Pastore. I'm here in Ireland 10 years, and I'm 17 years that I'm in food business, selling, mainly focus on importing the best quality extra virgin olive oil, all the traditional Italian food. I was born in Puglia, that is the biggest region for olive oil production in Italy, and with more than 80 million olive trees. In fact, as I said, this is the biggest producer of olive oil in Italy. We produce more or less 40% of the olive oil in Italy. So I've been exposed to good extra virgin olive oil since I was a child. But the passion started when I started to go to some fairs. I was living in Verona at the time, north of Italy, and I started to go to fairs and taste different oils made from different varietal of olives that make a huge difference between the varietal, I'm saying, of the olives, make a big difference between the taste of olive oil. It's like when you taste some wine, and you taste a wine of a kind of grapes, and another one have a taste completely different. This one you can just noticing when you taste at least 2 or 3 olive oil together. In June last year, I have attended to a course of 5 days on how to taste properly the extra virgin olive oil, and then after that I've done another talk about how to taste extra virgin olive oil here in Ireland, here in Dublin, in the Cornucopia restaurant. First of all, a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, as you can imagine, and all the information that I will share with you I've collected from sources that I repute reliable. All the claim about health benefit are backed by research that I can give you the source of if you need. However, if you have any health issue, I suggest to see a doctor or a health practitioner. We start to speak about the olives. The olives are fruits, and in particular are the drupes, which means they are fleshy fruits that have seeds in the center. Other drupes that you know very well are cherry, peach, and plums. Most olives are not edible when eaten from the trees. There is one variety that I know that they can be eaten fresh, and here in Puglia we do eat it fried or with cooked in boiling water. But that I know there is only this kind of variety of olives that have a sweet taste. All the other need to be cured for 3-4 months or few months to be able to be eaten. Here a curiosity now, there are no species of green or black olives. They are all the same. It's just that the green olives are not ripe yet. So there is a lot of people that think that are two different varieties. The extra virgin olive oil is actually fruit juice that comes solely from pressing of the olives with mechanical means. And so being a fruit juice has all the benefit when it is the freshest. And we will talk about this a little bit later. One thing that I'd like to talk about is the difference between extra virgin olive oil and olive oil. The that is the one that we see most of the time in the supermarket. By law, from the processing of olives, we can have only 3 products that are extra virgin olive oil, virgin olive oil, and lampante oil. The extra virgin olive oil is the freshest, healthiest, great flavor. It's obtained from healthy, promptly pressed olives, which contain naturally rich antioxidant, low free fatty acid, by law less than 0.08%, and no defect. In fact, when you taste olive oil, you shouldn't feel any defect or any flaws in the taste. Instead, virgin olive oil still has health benefit, has a good flavor, no trans fat, is obtained only from pressed olives that may have some defect, presence of antioxidant, low free fatty acid, by law between 0.8 and 0.2%. Virgin olive oil is not available in Ireland. Last, as I said, is the lampante. The lampante is called as such because it was used for lighting lamps during the 17th, 18th century. In fact, for the characteristic of oil that doesn't smell when it burns, was suitable for churches, houses, and for the lamps outside of on the street. It's unfit for consumption, had bad flavor, poor health benefit, free acid higher than 2%, obtained from a poor quality fruit and delayed processing. And the olive oil that we find in the supermarket, how it's made? All the lampante oil produced goes to raffinery, where the oil are chemically or physically refined. From the raffinery comes out a colorless and tasteless oil, which some virgin or extra virgin olive oil is added just to give some color and lend some taste to it. Almost no health benefit are left. Let's read together this label. It's a common label between the olive oil. Mild and light olive oil is composed from refined oil and virgin olive oil. This is a by law sentence that must be on the label of the olive oil. Everything else has been made there to help to sell it. Cholesterol-free naturally, all the oil that comes from vegetables are cholesterol-free naturally. And says, enjoy all the health benefit with this mild flavor, light color olive oil. As you know now, the health benefit, there is very little left, probably from the virgin oil added to it. The light color is just because they didn't add much virgin or extra virgin olive oil to it. So it's for this reason has also mild flavored. So up to you, naturally, in this case, to choose the olive oil or the extra virgin olive oil next time. We are here to tasting olive oils. I need to explain a little bit how to taste, what we have to expect, and so on, before to go to practice, we say. Tasting olive oils. The flavor in olive oil are determined by a wide range of factors. The type of olives, that is called varietal. There are more than 750 varietal in the world. There are more than 550 just in Italy. This one can let you understand how big could be the difference between different extra virgin olive oil when you taste them. The ripeness at the harvest. There are some producers that press the olives when they are still green. And this just to give an higher, potentially higher content of antioxidant, but the taste will suffer from this. In fact, will be much more bitter and much more contrary. There is right time to harvest the olives is when the olives start to change its color from green to black. When it's black, it's too late to press to have a good olive oil. Most of the time will be very sweet, but tendency is that we will have a very bad quality olive oil, if not virgin, maybe also lampante. The growing condition, climate, soil type. We know that last year in Italy we had a very bad harvest. It was the worst that I ever heard about it, because it was raining all the time. So we had it's been very difficult for me to source a good olive oil for you. This year we are expecting exceptional olive oil. Crop maintenance, irrigation if any, pest control if any, handling of fruit from tree to mill. How our senses work. Perception of flavor relies on both our senses, of taste and smell. The reception on our tongue can only discern sweet, salt, sour, and bitter. All other information that we think as flavor is actually perceived as smelling food through the back of our nostril, retronasally, while it's in our mouth. The technique. To test extra virgin olive oil, there exists a well-defined technique, which has been coded from the International Olive Oil Council. Much of olives' characteristics are perceived through the sense of smell. You probably enjoy olive oil with other food, but to focus on the olive oil flavor without distraction, the best way to test it is on. What we are looking inside of an olive oil. There are three characteristics in extra virgin olive oil that must be in extra virgin olive oil to be called extra virgin olive oil by law now. Fruitiness, because being a fruit juice, the fruitiness is very important. You should feel some fruit scents in the olive oil. If it's bland or it's flat, it probably is not anymore a good olive oil. Second characteristic is the bitterness. The bitterness is one of the characteristics that most people doesn't like, but it's one of the quality of olive oil. Usually, more is bitter olive oil, more contains antioxidants that are very good for us. And pepperiness. The olive oil must be peppery, must be pinching in your throat. Pay attention to this. The pepperiness of the olive oil is totally different from the hotness of a chili. All the pepperiness from a chili, or you can feel it, you will feel it in your tongue or your mouth. While the pepperiness from extra virgin olive oil, you will feel it in your throat. And sometimes will make you cough. It's normal. Probably will happen to us tonight. Let's start to taste extra virgin olive oil. I will close this here. I'm back. So for who read the email and has everything ready to do the tasting with me, we should have some glasses, plastic glasses or small glasses, apple, a knife to cut the apple, and 1, 2, or 3 olive oils. We have a Hilvero here, and I have other 2, one Toscan olive oil that I'm thinking to import, and another olive oil that we imported last year, and probably will bring some this year again. This year one price. This one is a monocultivar. These 3 olive oil have totally different characteristics. So I will explain what I feel in it and how can we discern the different flavor. Another thing is this one. I asked to take another plastic glass with a tissue inside. I'll explain now what to say for what is here. I will say that you can swallow the olive oil after while you're tasting, but if you don't want, you can just spit it here. That's it. It's a common practice. So we start with il vero. You have to put in the glass the quantity, enough quantity of a spoon, like 15 milligrams, okay? Just to be able to warm it up enough. And you will taste just a quantity of a teaspoon. That is the quantity you put in your mouth, okay? What to do now? You just put your hand on under the glass and one on top, covering it, okay? And try to warm up the olive oil with your hand. The olive oil starts to release its scents and its flavors and all the polyphenolic compounds that are give the color and the smell to the olive oil at 27 30 degrees, between 37 and 30 degrees. So it's exactly the temperature of our body, so should be enough to make you smell few senses, few. After a few seconds, you will put your nose inside of the olive oil and smell it. And try to describe what you feel. This is another thing's important. All three olive oil that I'm going to taste are olive oil from the last season. There are no new olive oil in this that is coming in next 2 weeks. The difference between the olive oil with time, the olive oil will change flavor, color, and the compound of polyphenols will break down with the time, with light. So this is very good, still very good olive oil. It's mild taste, as a few flavors inside. The things that I feel is more of almonds, and a little bit of artichoke sense. This way to take in your hair in your mouth is called stripping or strippaggio. Is a technique that helps to emulsionate the olive oil while it's in your mouth. You have to put the olive oil all around your mouth, and first things you have to feel the fluidity of the olive oil in your mouth. Understand if there is very fluid or is more creamy. Or the more is fluid, the better is the olive oil. In fact, the best olive oil that you can find usually pass in your mouth like water, and leave just this the feeling and of the senses of olive oil. This one has a very light bitter taste on the side of my tongue. I confirm the scent of artichokes that I was feeling before, and I has had a very particular peppery taste in my throat. The peppery taste, as I said, is an indicator of antioxidant. One in particular gives the peppery taste in throat is called the oleocanthal. The oleocanthal is they found out that the oleocanthal has a similar molecule to the ibuprofen. In fact, there are research that demonstrate that olive oil has is a good anti-inflammatory too. In fact, doctors suggest usually to use at least 15 milligrams, a spoonful of olive oil in your food every day to help our body to cope with inflammation as well. This was a very nice one. No, for nothing. We said it. Then we pass to the second one. If you want to say on the chat box what you have felt in the olive oil that you tasted already, if you tasted already, do it. This is typical from I sense very strong flavor of herbs, just cutted herb, and that is very typical from very good, Yolanda. Herbs, typical from the olive oil from Tuscany. This is fantastic olive oil. Very fluid in my mouth. It's much more light than the Pugliese. So I will use this one more for fish, where you don't want to cover too much taste. Has a peppery taste at the end. That is indication of still presence of antioxidant inside of the olive oil. Very nice at the taste. If you want to clean your mouth from the taste, as I suggested before, you can have it a slice of apple, or a little bit of water. That will clean your palate. The last olive oil will be this. Sorry, I lost the glass. This is a monocultivar or monovarietal. Is the difference between the first two are a blend of few characteristic varietal from the region Puglia. Ours is Coratina Oliarola. Coratina Oliarola Peranzana makes the olive oil a little bit milder. And the second one was made from Frantoio, Leccino, Moraiolo. More delicate, a typical varietal of the Tuscany. In this case, instead, I'm tasting a monocultivar, a Coratina. Will be the flavor will be most of artichoke, probably. Let me see if I can feel it. Yeah. This is delicious. Smells very good. I love olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is one of my passion. This one has an harmony in my mouth in this moment, incredible. It's a little bit bitter still after 1 year from after the harvest. It's still bitter. It's peppery, but it's coming after, you know. The flavor of artichokes is very the size, and we'll see this year what they will present with this. If you have any other question, I think that with the tasting I finished. I have an exercise that you can, I will send you the file anyway, where an exercise that you can do when you taste olive oil. Some question I'll show you now. Okay. Is the aroma pleasant or unpleasant? Is the aroma mild, medium, or intense? For first was medium. The second one very mild, intense for the third one for me. The aroma was for first one there was artichokes and little bit almond more than artichokes in the first one. The second one more herby, grass, just and the third one instead I will use an almond taste. Is the oil, as I said, the first was has a bitter taste, the second one has very low bitter taste, and medium and mild, I was saying, and the third one was more strong, but still medium. No, it wasn't as strong as when you taste, not as strong as when it's fresh. How did you feel it in when you swallowed olive oil? How did you feel your throat? Did the olive oil leave a mild impression? Did it sting your throat or make you cough? All three were very strong. I leave this page here of the exercise and I read some of your questions now. Marian says, I tasted Lidl Italian extra virgin, nice, fluid, liquid, creamy flavor, not peppery, even though it should be peppery. I have an old bottle of the Cecco, but it's completely tasteless. My olive was delicious. Thank you, Ursula. Rosmarino, I don't know if it's an olive oil with flavoring of rosemary. Inside, it's lovely and smooth with a hint of pepper. Yes, but when you do a proper tasting, usually we don't taste flavored olive oil. Henry says that the olive oil from Portugal was peppery. There's a lot of good olive oil in Portugal and Greece as well, not just in Italy. Aldo asks if extra virgin olive oil is bad for cholesterol. No, absolutely not. Contrary, the extra virgin olive oil will fight cholesterol because it contains this antioxidant and is contain a compound that fight the bad cholesterol. Spanish Primavera Evo and creamy and peppery. When it's creamy, it's not a good indication of good olive oil. Peppery must be there, so good that you find the peppery taste, Marian. Edel is upsetting me that I don't have any good oil to taste. Okay, Edel. It increases the pepper. We'll have to wait to taste proper later. Okay, I know the barrier is not the best. Okay, Adel, I agree with you. Janet, the film and lips not a good sign. If you leave a film, oily film, in your lips, is not real a good sign usually. Your mouth should be clean after the taste of olive oil. Yes, Breda, I will do the stripping for you in a moment. Greg says Vero extra virgin was peppery and left the palate relatively clean. We are talking about olive oil that is already 1 year old and is still very peppery and good. The second was a cheap extra virgin olive oil. For comparison, the smell was rocket. It was tasteless and stayed on the palate. Harry is asking if the olive oil is bitter. Does it not make bitter taste to the food you're cooking, eating with? Sure, Harry, yes, it's possible. In fact, there is always food that you can add to, there is always a matching food for olive oil. Il Vero Santermo usually is not very bitter because it's a blend also from Peranzana and Oliarola that make it more mild and sweet. While when it's only Coratina, the Coratina will be very bitter. The bitter taste you will use with cooked vegetables, and when you use it on warm dishes, on a steak, will match very well your food. While I will never use a Coratina oil on fish or something delicate, you know. I did a course for Chris. Asking if Tuscany a good olive oil region in Italy. Yes, I did a course in Florence myself. They are proud of their own olive oil. They point a lot to quality. I had the chance to taste a lot of fantastic olive oil there. For Claire, yes, it's possible that the olive oil, after being open for a long time, can change. This lemony taste is more a defect than the other, but the effect arrived to olive oil if not well kept. Cathy for sure can help. At least that is what the research says, that can help for medical condition. But good olive oil will help your diet to be more healthy. The Il Vero contains, to answer to how long does Il Vero keeps in dark places, this is a question of Breda. The Il Vero has other olive oil that are very rich in antioxidant in dark places will last very long, most of the time also after the expiry date. I suggest always to get the freshest possible olive oil. Chris is asking if Vero is more of cooking oil or would be a good in salad. Il Vero I suggest it for salads and for cooking. This is another thing that is very important. I use the extra virgin Vero for cooking myself because it keeps very well high temperature of cooking. In the olive oil has a point of smoke 20-15 degrees. This also to answer to another question that was before. When you imagine if you deep fry, you should deep fry at 180 degrees, even though frying is not the healthiest of the cooking, but that is the temperature that you should fry. So, and the olive oil burns at 20-15 degrees. The point of smoke of olive oil is 20-15 degrees. So, will be good without no problem also for cooking. I use it all the time. For fish, for Yolanda, yes, for fish we will use a milder olive oil. I have the calorie, the other calorie that we sell is much milder, even though it's peppery, but on the taste, the fruitiness is much milder. I will import probably next year some other olive oil that are milder, goes very well on fish. And then, this is a very strong aroma and pepper. Shona said that she tasted a Sicilian extra virgin Vero, very strong aroma and peppery on the throat. It's typical of extra virgin for this reason. Sicily has a lot of varietal of olive oil. You taste probably a good, strong and peppery olive oil. Depends from the varietal. There are many olive oil from Sicily are very delicate instead. Will be always a peppery taste, but will be very mild and bland sometimes. Chris, no, I know about the olive leaves extract. I don't know about it. I don't know if real what they claim about is real. I don't know. Who asked, tin, plastic or glass bottle? Do you have a preference? A preference for sure. Never plastic. Never plastic. Plastic release to the olive oil chemical from the plastic and can make the olive oil be bad. But for you, but himself, it will change the taste of olive oil. Tin depends. The tin is very good for the light because preserve the olive oil from the light. Sometimes the concern about tins are where the tin junction, and that can be go bad. We use only tin pre-sealed inside, but most of the time is safe. I would prefer tin to plastic for sure, and glass. The glass is doesn't change any characteristic of the olive oil. Preferably, you should use dark bottle. I import in clean bottle, clear bottle only the Novello that will be available in few weeks. In clear bottle Novello just for one reason, because it's so rich in antioxidant and it's beautiful to see that the light that it will get will not damage olive oil if it's not kept for longer than a few months, we say. Henry, I know what you read that you shouldn't heat your olive oil too high when fried because the high heat destroys the goodness. In fact, happens at me at least 2-3 times that I left the olive oil on the pan in the pan without food in it, and with very high temperature, and that it start to smoke. When it start to smoke, they destroy the goodness of olive oil. The best things that you can do is throw away that olive oil and start again. But if you use temperature, the right temperature for frying, as well for frying, for cooking, there is no problem. You will get most of the benefit from the olive oil. Very good. If you don't have any other question, I'd like just to remind you one thing about that we have. If you were asking which is the best olive oil, there is, as I said, my answer, it depends, but a good choice is the freshest that you can find.